Daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's going on, Washington Wizards fans? This is your host, Ed Oliver. Welcome to the Locked On Wizards podcast. And we have special guest, Jamel Johnson, host of the Airbuds podcast. How you feeling today, man?
Oh, I'm feeling fantastic. Super pumped to talk about some Washington Wizards with your brother.
Yes, sir. So he has a Disney World hat, the Wizard hat, definitely fits, the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, whenever I watch this team, I feel like a cartoon character. So it felt right.
And before we get started, thanks for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts. And this episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. So before we get started today, we're going to talk about, of course, the trade deadline is tomorrow, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. The Wizards have not made any moves yet, which I was hoping that they would have made at least, one or two moves by this time. But, the deadline forces people to make moves. So first, I just want to get your take on the season so far. And also, I want to get a blame pie chart from you. Who takes the blame the most for the flop after the 10-3 start? You can pick. We're going to go through the three parts that can take blame. The percentage is the coaches, the front office, or the players since the 10-3 start. So I want to get your percentage on the blame pie chart.
Ooh, I like that. I'm ready to. I just put my numbers together. I'm ready to do it. Like off rips. Okay.
Yeah.
Here it is. All right. I'm gonna say it's 55% on the coaches, and then I'm gonna say because my big problem is how many games did we blow before it looked like we needed to blow it up? How many games did we blow because we couldn't inbound the ball?
Right. That is, yeah.
I'm putting that on the coaches. I'm putting 40 on the players. They're playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm putting 5 on the front office because I have emailed Tommy Shepard several times, and I'm just hoping for a message back. So I'm just going to say it ain't his fault just until I receive a returned email.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the inbound plays have been awful. You look at the Clippers game, 35-point debacle loss, comeback. Kyle Kuzma got a 5-second violation, almost got a 5-second violation before he got the 5-second violation. And then he threw the ball all to the other side of the court, and it went out of bounds to end the game for us to lose that game against the Clippers. KCP has struggled with inbounds plays too. To get on the coaches as well, Wes Unseld Jr., he is a first-year head coach. He's kind of – some of the players have basically said he's lost the locker room. There's been a report that the prisoners run the asylum. KCP and Trez getting a fight. Davis Bertans and Denny getting in a fight. Trez saying that the mood freaking sucks, to say it nicely. And he also said that they don't make adjustments as well. So a lot of it has been on Wes. I would say the front office too. You look at Tommy Shepard, you look at Ted Leonsis, they don't want to blow it. They don't want to blow it up. They don't want to move on. They want to keep building around Bradley Beal when it's really hard to do that.
Yeah, especially when the position we need is the hardest to fill. I mean, how many high caliber point guards even are there?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like 10 dudes you really want, and they're locked in. Steph ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? These guys ain't going nowhere. Like the guys you really need to make your team like really move. And so just to be like, all right, we'll take all the forwards in the world. Look at, hey, every forward you got, come on down. We'll some of them joints will shake out. And it's like, yeah, getting Kuzma was worth a lot of this trouble. But if we don't figure out a point guard, it is for naught.
Right. Yeah, in the front office, they decided to bring back Davis Bertans, which I did want him back at the time, but now the contract looks really bad. Now he's untradeable. They brought in Spencer Dinwiddie, who I was pretty happy when we first signed him, but coming off the ACL injury, you think they would have did a better evaluation on that situation. And Spencer Dinwiddie looks like a shell of himself. There's reports that teammates don't like him. Like you said, the point guard position is something that we're really lacking right now.
And we be too, and okay, so you know what? Maybe it is 70% on the front office because our problem is we're too quick to tell everybody what we're willing to do. Like, yeah, I wanted Bertans back too, but everybody, Shepard, Beal, everybody was in the media. Like, first thing we got to do is sign Bertans, which just gave his people leverage. I'm living in LA now. Yo, good representation will get you overpaid in a heartbeat. So now we're on the hook for him for all this money. I'm sure the pressure was getting into him. He never thought he was worth 80 M's, but now he's got 80 M's. It's messing with him in the head. And now we're stuck because we just were too willing to be like, we love you. Like, I mean, some of being a GM is just like acting like you don't care about these fools. You got to just pretend.
Right. Yeah, you got to be like Pat Riley. With the Heat, but I forgot to mention that Jamel is a comedian as well. So
I guess I should have. I'm not a magician.
Yeah, so there's some questionable moves that they have made. Spencer Dinwiddie, the contract's not looking good right now. Like I said, Davis Bertans. There are some guys that we could have drafted, after some of the guys. You look at Tyrese Halliburton, he's playing really well for the Kings. Sadiq Bey, Tyrese Maxey. Ayu Dosunmu looks really good in the second round as well. That's just a couple of names to name. And not everybody's going to hit on drafts. I think the three guys that we've drafted are okay guys, but they're more like rotational pieces. I think the Domantas Sabonis trade kind of showed us what people think about our young guys and our assets right now. But the players, if my answer for the blame chart, it's a lot. I mean, we just saw a coach get into an altercation with a fan after the Heat game, and they were saying, "Let's go Heat" in our home court. Front office gets about, I might have to say 60% because they don't know, they don't have a direction right now, and they're trying to build around Bradley Beal. They're not doing a good job of it, and then also, his value's gone down. So if you wanted to trade him, his value is down now.
Yeah, bruh, I mean, he should have been on the Lakers 3 years ago. I mean, I don't understand why the Lakers didn't just give us everybody then. They could have had Brad, and then all their problems would have been, and we would have ended up with Kuzma anyway. And all of their problems would have been solved. But hey, I wanted to work with Brad too. Come on, man. I never wanted to see John Wall leave.
Yeah, no, I was with you on that too.
Yo, if I got to hear about his playmaking ability one more time, I'm gonna make some plays. We need somebody who can get him the ball. I'm tired of watching him try to break a double team. We need somebody who commands a double team to help this man or just get off it.
Yeah, Brad needs a point guard really bad. We're just lacking that right now. I mean, Neto, he's trying out there, but he's not a facilitating point guard. Aaron Holiday's not a facilitating point guard right now, so we have to get a point guard. But yeah, the players are a part of the blame too, for sure. Everybody gets a percentage, in my opinion. Like I said, the front office gets about 60, coaching 30. That's already 90%. It's just not enough percentage to really go.
It's not enough. We need 200%. We need another extra 100 of blame for this.
Right. We really do. And the players too, they don't buy in to what Wes is saying. Wes, he's a rookie head coach, so he's not getting command of the locker room. Guys got egos. Trez has an ego. Brad has an ego. All these guys, Kuz won a championship. KCP won a championship. So it kind of looks like they're tuning each other out. And the whole showcase thing and not playing Daniel Gafford, that's on the front office as well.
What is that about? I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the plan is to trade Trez, sure. That's the only part about it that makes sense. But we still need to win games.
Right.
In order for everyone's value to be up. So make the right decision. And it'd be clear. Gafford will be coming out of the first quarter, 3 blocks in the first quarter, and then he can't sniff the court for ever.
Right. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. And the whole Clippers loss too was because he did not sit down Spencer Dinwiddie. Wes Unseld Jr. didn't sit down Spencer Dinwiddie in that game. He was not playing well at all. You look at Tyronn Lue, He took Eric Bledsoe out. He took Zubac out. Batum, he sat him down. Jay Scrub came in, started cooking us. Luke Kennard, third string guys that they had brought up from the G League. Some undrafted guys came in and beat us on our own house when we were up by 35. So that was on the coaching too. And the front office with the whole showcasing thing, which has failed. Thomas Bryant hasn't really showcased much. Trez has showcased a little bit, but other than that, the guys we try to showcase, what are we really showcasing when we're losing by 30 points?
Yeah, rotation's got to change. And I mean, I think getting younger would probably help Wes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure this mix of vets he's just trying to lay back and, let everybody be grown because they're all established in the league. But, he might just need some young dudes that he could just yell at comfortably.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, he's definitely got to get a command in the locker room for sure. Some guys are complaining about the offense. He's trying to run like a Nuggets style offense with Jokic, but obviously we don't have a Nikola Jokic type guy. But the blame chart that was good. It's just not enough percentage to go around. But before I want to get to Brad's wrist injury, and I do want to talk about the rumor of John Collins to the Wizards trying it or making trade offers to the Atlanta Hawks for John Collins. Of course, there's some Spencer Dinwiddie interest from around the league that I've heard today. So I do want to get into that.
Mhm.
And but before we do get into that, this episode is brought to you by Bet Online. Bet Online has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. As football continues its march through the playoffs, right to the big game in a couple weeks. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just football. BetOnline has up to the minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the new amazing offers available for the 2022 season. BetOnline, where the game starts. Thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen. The NBA trade deadline is Thursday, February 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Locked On NBA podcast will be covering it live from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Join Kim Becker, John Corrales, and Locked On Fantasy Basketball host Josh Lloyd to get analysis of every blockbuster move. Subscribe to Locked On NBA YouTube and turn your notifications on so you know when they go live. All right, so let's get into some of this trade talk here. I just want to get to your reaction of Bradley Beal being out for the season. Also, there was a report saying that the Wizards are still trying to make a playoff push, even with Bradley Beal being
out. Okay, two things happened. The first thing I did was I
also,
bought this
I'm
hat.
sorry to cut you off. I want to ask you this:
please,
do you
please.
think the Sabonis, the news of Sabonis being traded to the Kings? Because once that news came out, it was about 10 minutes later that Bradley Beal announced his agency, and he announced that he was going to be out for season. Do you think there was a coincidence with that as well?
Yeah, big time coinky dink. Can you hear me winking in the microphone? Nuts, man. I just, like I said, as soon as I heard the news, I went and bought this hat. And then I sat in my apartment with the lights off, and I came to terms with the fact that we are going to be the 9th pick for the rest of my life. Every year we're going to pick 9th, and it took a while, but I'm all right with it. I'm all right with it now. Yesterday I was not doing well, but I'm okay. I don't know, man. I mean, seeing him as the number one option was also pretty upsetting. So, hey, take a couple months off, buddy. You earned it.
All right. So yeah, it was. I think after he saw that news, and I don't want to speculate, but he kind of saw the record, and him as his agency, they met with Tommy Shepard and the front office during, or I want to say the night of the Heat game, and seeing that, he was kind of like, they probably were like, okay, yeah, this season's not going anywhere. Let's shut it down. Let's rehab. Let's get ready for next year. It's a contract year. He doesn't want to get hurt any more than what he is. So he can max out on and get possibly that 5-year, $242 million deal.
Which I'm not quite understanding. Like,
Mhm.
I understand that it's based on like time and output and stuff like this, but just off what I see with my eyes, that 5 years, 200 plus something, I don't know if that's Brad is more like, I mean, he feels like 170, 180,
Mhm.
250. Break a double team and we could, yeah, you'll get that 250. I'll give it
Yeah.
to you. I have it in my closet.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's so he can either opt in to the 4 year, $181 million, which is a max contract as well, or he can get that 5 year, $242 million deal from the Wizards, which he can only get from the Wizards, which is most likely what he's going to do. Of course, the normal
I
guy is
mean,
going
you gotta take it. If they're
yeah,
gonna give it to you, you gotta.
right. Yeah, you have to. So I can't blame him for that. Nobody can. But it's on the Wizards too. Are they really going to? And they are. They are going to offer. They already said it.
And we will be doomed. Unless we find a point guard, unless we get
Yeah.
somebody who can get him the ball,
Hmm.
that is doomed. That's like, you ever
Hmm.
watch Game of Thrones?
Unfortunately, I didn't. That's like the one HBO show I didn't watch.
Well, it's like the pilot. Next time you watch, if you ever start it, the first episode, this lady rolls up on one of the main characters and is like, "Yo, it's about to get real out here," and
Mhm.
that is what is gonna happen as soon as he signs them papers, man. I don't understand why Philly won't step up, man. Do the right thing. Ben for Brad. I think we all can see it helps both parties. I think Bradley Beal is clearly better than Tobias Harris
Oh
for the Sixers needs. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
He can drive, he can hit that mid range. His three ball is solid. It's still there. The free throws is back. His
Yeah. The
wrist will
thing
be
is,
fine. If he gets sent to Philly, his wrist is going to be like, oh, you know what, man? I think I got some new sales in my wrist today. I think I'm ready to go.
right. Yeah. The thing is, the Sixers they're playing hardball. They want the Wizards want Tyrese Maxey
Mm,
or Matisse Thybulle to be added to the deal, and they're not going to do that. They're playing hardball with James Harden right now. They want it to be straight up Ben for James Harden. So they're going to play hardball with the Wizards
wow.
for Bradley Beal. And Bradley Beal, his value did drop this year because he didn't shoot the ball well from the three. He averaged a career high in turnovers. So, we don't have a lot of leverage with Brad. So the Sixers are going to play hardball.
The Sixers is playing hardball with everybody. The Sixers
They
is
are.
like, we want Dr. J to come back for free. Like the Sixers think, I don't know who they think is available. Just like make a deal.
Mhm. Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, James Harden is the one guy that really, really wants to go there. And they're playing hardball with the Nets and James Harden. So I mean, we'll see how that plays out within the
Mm.
next 24 hours. But they're going to have to add Matisse or Tyrese Maxey to that deal. But let's pivot to John Collins. So Quentin Mayo reported today that Tommy Shepard has made a couple of trade offers. He's contacted the Hawks front office for John Collins. Do you think that would be a good move for the Washington Wizards, and what do you think the Wizards would have to offer to bring in a John Collins?
I mean, it's like if you do that, what do we give him? Like Trez and Gafford?
So Gafford can't be traded yet because we already
Oh,
gave
right.
him the extension.
I was okay, so never mind. Well, I mean, in terms of like play, that we want Gafford to be John Collins. So that's an interesting move because you got two guys that you try and get lob threat. I mean, who even got throwing the lobs though?
Hmm. Right.
I mean, I think he's a player worth that look, but we already got a log jam at the position. We already
Right.
got
The
three
big five.
fives that we don't know what to do with.
Right. So we would have to, of course, Trez is on the trade block, so I think he would be moved on. So, what do you think about this trade for John Collins? And this is a hypothetical. This is a mock trade that I've seen floating around on social media. One person had Rui, Denny, and Montrezl Harrell for John Collins. Do you think the Hawks would accept that trade?
Um, maybe. I mean, yeah, I guess I could see that. Like, Rui could be John Collins. They could play the same way. I mean,
Mhm.
Rui's a little smaller, but post presence can shoot from three. Maybe. But then they got the same problem as us. They got a bunch of forwards running
That is true.
around. You
That is
know?
true.
I
Yeah,
think it's oh
oh,
what?
no, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think you try to give him Trez, Thomas Bryan, and like I give you Dinwiddie too, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people are gonna take Dinwiddie. I do want to get to Dinwiddie and his trade value. There were some reports that came out about him today too. That might be an enticing trade. I would take about anything right now for Spencer Dinwiddie, to be honest. But
Sure.
the thing about John Collins that makes him different from Gafford or a lot of the bigs that we have is that he can shoot threes. John Collins right now, he's shooting 39% from the 39.5% from the three, which is basically 40%. And the Wizards can't shoot threes at all. We're one
Yeah,
of the worst.
Show Davis Bertans the tapes.
Right. And he's shooting three threes per game. So right now he's averaging 17 points a game, 8 boards a game, and also a block a game. He's very versatile. He's a lob threat, like you say. He's athletic. He can run the floor. He can shoot, put the ball on the floor a little bit. He's only how old is he? I know he's still very, very young.
27 tops is what I'm thinking. If that got to be
He's
26, maybe
24.
25.
He's 24
Jeez.
years old. Yeah, he's 24. And his contract as well. His contract's not bad. It's $25 million per year, which it's not bad for his production. A guy who's basically averaging a double-double and can shoot threes and can block shots. You look at Bertans, he's getting 16 mil a year. So you kind of look at the contracts that we have right now. Spencer Dinwiddie's getting about 18, $19 million
Yeah.
per year. So John Collins, that contract's not bad at all, and he's still young. Like I said, he can stretch the floor, he can shoot, put the ball on the floor. So if the Wizards could get him, I think he would be a good addition. Does he really move the needle though? Kind of like Jeremy Grant. Does he make us a contender? Not really,
Well,
but
if he comes here and he's actually shooting that 39 for us, I don't want him to get the jersey on and forget, you know,
mhm,
where the seams on the ball are or whatever. You know what I'm
right,
saying? But like, this could be good, and you could convince the Hawks that Thomas Bryant could potentially fill that need. I mean, he's a fast big who is willing to shoot it.
right. Yeah, and on the YouTube side, it says Deontay Daniels. I
Hey,
forgot to fix that for you,
hey,
but
look, he lives on in our rhymes. This is just a guest appearance for me. They didn't have time to change the cards. We good.
right. But yeah, I think the Hawks say no. I think they say no to us, just like how the Pacers did. They looked at our assets, Rui, Denny, Thomas Bryant, Montrezl Harrell. Our first round pick, we can't trade it until 2028. So I kind of think they look around our assets and, 2028 was that like an eighth grader, ninth grader, or something like that. So
Yeah.
you look at that and they're like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. But before we do talk about Dinwiddie, which I do think, and I really hope the Wizards can work out a trade. I think it would be better for Spencer as well to move on and just get a change of scenery because it has not worked out with Bradley Beal at all. But before we do get to Spencer Dinwiddie and some trade value for him and some teams that may be interested in Spencer Dinwiddie, this episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now possible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning like, is your Odyssey an LX or an EX? And wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer, choosing the only brand their warehouse happens to carry. You have computers with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Rock Auto prices are reliably low for every customer. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need from rockauto.com. All right, so let's get to Spencer. We're already talking about John Collins, which honestly, Jamel changed the hat, so I do like the.
Oh yeah, sorry. It was that hat was hot as hell, so I had to get right.
So let me pull up the Spencer Dinwiddie reports that came up. So Josh Robbins said that the Dallas Mavericks and Detroit Pistons would be interested in trading. They might have interest. So definitely take into account they might have. This is not set in stone. And then there was also a report today that the Lakers would possibly have interest in Spencer Dinwiddie as well. And I would love for that trade to happen. So let me pull this trade up for you guys. I don't know if you saw it today. It was for Taylor Horton Tucker.
Okay.
And so, yeah, this is the quote from Sports Illustrated. The reporter's name is Chris Mannix. He said, Spencer Dinwiddie is available in Washington, and a Horton Tucker draft pick package could be enough to entice a Wizards team with interest in offloading Dinwiddie's contract. Would you accept a trade for Taylor Horton Tucker and 2 second-round picks? They might give us a first-round pick, which I highly doubt they would.
Yeah.
But would that entice you to trade Spencer Dinwiddie to the Lakers for THT and 2 second-round picks?
Yeah, it doesn't fix our needs in the immediate, but definitely. I think we all need a change of scenery from time to time. And I wonder if we could work out some sort of deal where it's like, okay, if the Lakers like make the real playoffs, not the play in, like, can we get that like first round like protected or like something like, yeah, a 20th pick would be amazing, but I'd do it for a second rounder, sure.
Right. So there's also a mock trade that came up last week too. It was Spencer Dinwiddie, who's making 3 years, $54 million. THT is making about $10 million per year. Now THT hasn't played well. Nobody has really played well for the Lakers this year, to be other than LeBron James and maybe Anthony Davis when he's been available. Malik Monk has played well too. So they don't really have much assets either to give up. Not like Spencer Dinwiddie would bring back a huge haul, and he's underwhelmed. And already said that he throws a lot of grenades, last second shot clock violation type passes to guys. So another trade that I saw was Spencer Dinwiddie for THT, Kendrick Nunn, a 2023 Chicago second round pick that the Lakers have, and a 2028 Lakers second round pick. Would you say yay or nay to that trade?
I would say super yay.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. West Side Connection style, because None. We don't know why we haven't seen him yet. Perhaps it's out of caution. Some people say, otherwise, but it's an intriguing point guard coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Could help.
Yeah, I think he can help out with some of the ball handling. We just need to consolidate and let some guys go. Another trade is the Celtics, which I don't believe would happen, but this one that I saw for the Mavericks, I know they do have Jalen Brunson, the point guard on that team, was really good. He has an expiring contract as well. Spencer Dinwiddie to the Mavericks for Tim Hardaway Jr. and a 2024 Dallas second round pick. And Tim Hardaway Jr., he's injured right now. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out. He might be out for the season. I gotta double check on that though.
I would honestly be for the best if he's out for the season, because then it's like you got to figure out how to play KCP because you're paying him too. So it's like, the rest of the season to figure out how to move the pieces around could help. I mean, that's kind of. How would they? What do we have to do to like convince the Mavs to give us Jalen Brunson? Is there anything they would do to give us Brunson? And I mean, they're playing Trey Burke right now too, and I know Dinwiddie's an upgrade on Trey Burke at the very least.
Mm. Yeah, it's a tough one because Dinwiddie, he has looked like a shell of himself, and he just it's tough for him because he can't really get by guys. He's not really shooting the three well either. But when he does play without Brad, he plays a lot better. So he could play better for the rest of the year, but it's tough, especially with the knee. It looks like the knee injury really is catching up with him, the ACL tear, because he's just not moving as quick as what he used to. Trey Burke, they're probably about the same right now, in my opinion. Jalen Brunson would be an upgrade, though. You're right about Jalen Brunson. I would love to get him in DC, but he's an expiring contract, so I don't know if the Mavericks would really move him. But I think in free agency, I think we should definitely try.
We just have to wait it out.
Yeah.
Oof.
But as far as Dinwiddie to Dallas, they have reported interest from Josh Robbins from The Athletic. And then the Pistons have reported interest as well. I don't know who we would get from the Pistons. I know Corey Joseph is on the Pistons. They got a couple of young guards on there. Of course, we're not gonna get Cade. Killian Hayes maybe they would want to throw him in a deal because he hasn't really worked out for them. He's still young. That's somebody
Yeah.
we could possibly bring in for Dinwiddie. Like I said, Corey Joseph's been a pretty good guard for the Pistons as well.
Yeah, I mean, youth is where it's at. Corey Joseph being our starting point guard makes me just sad. It just makes me sad to hear. Good Lord. But back to Tim Hardaway. I mean, just another reason that we could just move on from Bertans. Bertans feels like our biggest issue right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to trade. Frank Jackson is on the Pistons as well, too. He's a local guy. He's from D.C. Now, Corey Joseph can shoot. That's one thing I like about Corey Joseph. I do remember him hitting a game winner against us when he was with the Raptors. So I personally wouldn't be too mad at Corey Joseph. He's averaging 8 points per game this year, 2 boards, 3 assists, which is really not too far from Dinwiddie, to be honest. But yeah, as far as the Davis Bertans, this is the last question I'll ask you. This is kind of ties into Bertans too. But if you had to rank the guys to be traded, and also, do you think the Wizards should be buyers or sellers? This is a loaded question before we do wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to rank the guys who you think is going to get traded the most, like Trez, Spencer, Thomas Bryant, KCP, Davis Bertans, who do you think most likely is going to be traded before tomorrow at 3 p.m.?
Well, it seems like Trez has the most value left of who should be traded in my head. Mm-hmm. Trez is someone who we could actually trade, and somebody would be like, all right, yeah, we need a backup center right now.
Right.
Seems possible.
Sorry to cut you off. The Timberwolves are interested in Montrezl Harrell. That's been reported as well.
Ooh, who are they? They're thinking could we get like Malik Beasley?
I was thinking about that too. I really was. I know he's making about $20 million per year, so that's a pretty big contract we would get back. But of course, we would have to attach somebody else to make the salaries match. Maybe like Thomas Bryant and Trez, package both and see if they want 2 backups to Cat. Cat could get a little break here, and those guys can come
sure. We got all types of backups for you. So okay, so it'd be him just in terms of like ability to actually trade. We need to get rid of Bertans the most, but
right.
Who do you trick into taking him?
Yeah.
Is the G League Ignite? Is the Ignite looking for somebody to spot up from 40 feet? So him, and then I think for a while I was thinking Neto was tradable, and I think because Neto's he's like a piece. He's like a championship piece. He's a solid backup when you need somebody who could just go get a bucket.
I think this year he's shown that he would be a good 15th man on a championship team.
Yeah.
Like that.
All your guards are down. Come on, LA. When Russ need a break and and then none ain't there. You just need somebody to come bring the ball up. Neto would be great. He's like he can get to the rack. Like I've never seen nobody 5 foot nothing who could just get to the rack like that. But okay, so him, and then I mean, it'd be cool to trade KCP, but to who?
The Denver Nuggets reportedly are looking for a 3-and-D wing, so that's probably our only hope to take KCP.
That's cool, and I mean, they got a couple point guards laying around.
Yeah, they
last
got.
Time I checked.
I want to say Monte Morris, Bones Highland's a rookie, so they don't have any,
Well, yeah, I guess it's like because
Murray's their point guard is Jokic. Jokic is like a point center, so that's what they do.
Yeah, and Murray being gone for the year and all that, so maybe they might not be. They're not gonna get rid of Monte Morris at all.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So you got Bertans
Trez, Bertans, Neto, and then fourth, Thomas Bryant.
Thomas Bryant, okay. Where's
just because they're okay? So Dinwiddie, then Bryant, because Dinwiddie, it's like, yeah, come on, maybe the knee will get better. Come on, man, these things take a year, and then Bryant, he's got something left in the tank. We just got too many centers. project for a project. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You give us your project point guard, we'll give you our project center. Let's see how it goes.
And then Aaron Holiday is at the bottom.
Yeah, Aaron Holiday is the largest food group on my food pyramid of tradable wizards.
Yeah, I'm hoping they try to trade as many guys as possible because they got to let Rui and Denny develop. We have to see what these young guys can do. Same thing with Daniel Gafford. I'm tired of. I don't want to see him be benched anymore. He needs to play as much as he can. He's a guy that we should
Yeah.
pay attention to. So we got to see what these young guys can do. We got to let Rui spread his wings and develop for this final half of the year. And last question: what's your thoughts on Rui and Denny? What do you think their ceiling is, and do you think the Wizards should try to get the best pick in the draft possible?
Uh I think the ceiling is high for both of those guys. I mean, Denny's had some really good defensive stretches early in the year, and I think that's something to build on. His issue is just confidence, maintaining it.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it. He misses a shot, head be down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's just so like it's just mental. But he's shown some flashes where I was like, all right, yeah, he could be for real. And Rui, I mean, Rui's got real numbers that he's put up these past couple seasons. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just gotta just give him the ball more. It seems like to me.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I think Rui, he had a really good playoff series against the Sixers. The dunk on Anthony Davis, the dunk on Tobias Harris. He shows flashes. He's shooting the ball pretty well from the 3-point line so far this year too. He's the mid-range assassin. He loves that mid-range game. So I'm excited. Because we still I want to say they still have him on a minutes restriction. They need to take that off, let him play about 30, 35, really 40 minutes a
He could
game.
go. I feel like, yeah.
Right. Denny, I'm there with you. Confidence is huge for him. Of course, working on his left hand. Has to make layups, has to finish layups, finish strong around the rim. That's
Yeah.
what I'm looking for from him. Defensively, yeah, he's probably been our best defender at times on the team. So I'm really excited to see what these guys can do. I think Bradley Beal getting hurt, it's not good news, but it could be an opportunity for the team. Oh, and then are you for getting the best pick in the draft or no?
Yes, I'm for a commitment to development.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Right.
done this thing for years where it's like, all right, no, we're going to try to win. And you know what happens? We end up with the 9th pick every time. We just got
Personally.
to stop that for a second. And I think there's a way to do. I mean, it's like we look goofy trying to win. Maybe tanking could be fun.
Yeah, I mean it's a good draft. You look at the Raptors; they got Scotty Barnes after they had a bad season last year. Some guys were injured. You look at this draft this year. You got Jaden Ivey out of Purdue. You got some guys from Duke, Bankero, who looks really good. You got Jabari Smith out of Auburn. So it could be a golden opportunity for the Wizards. Now I know I have a weird feeling if we do get a top pick, they're going to try to trade it away and try to get another star or package it
All
to
right. I mean, and that's
Bradley
for
Beal.
but who would it be? I mean, what's Kyrie's status? Do
Mhm.
they want a first round pick for Kyrie up in Brooklyn?
Probably, and a couple players too.
Would that fix things? I don't know.
Yeah, it's something to think about because that Nets team, if James Harden leaves, then I think they're gonna blow it up
Well,
because
because yeah, I
they
mean,
could get Ben though. You can see how it could work out with Ben first,
I mean, and that would be amazing. Ben and KD,
right? And Kyrie.
that'd be quite all right.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope we don't trade it. But if somebody for real is coming back for that pick, I suppose I don't mind. But we can't keep getting the 9th pick. Let's try. Let's get the 5th pick, huh? What you think about 5th?
Yeah, let's get that fifth pick. That's what I'm wishing for. But thank you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q, with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. It's free and available wherever you get podcasts. Jamel, I want to thank you for coming on. Is there anything you wanted to plug?
I appreciate you having me, dog. At Airbuds Pod, NBA Storytime. You can search that. wherever you get your podcast. We definitely got to have you on Airbuds, bro. We was talking about it. Let's make something shake on that. And I got a football show. It's called Sorry We Love Football. And Sorry We Love NFL. And Sneak This, the sneaker sketch show brought to you by BR Kicks, available on YouTube. Shouts out to the Washington Football Skins. I seen you with the shirt. I don't know if I can rep the Commanders, dude. It hurts so much.
Yeah, it's tough to say hell to the Commanders. It does sound a little corny, but it's starting to grow on me. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, hey, look, once we get a couple dubs,
right?
I'll be looking for a hat.
Russell Wilson.
Russ comes. Now we talk.
Right. But I just want to thank you for coming on, man. Hopefully we make some trades tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping. But
yeah.
Thank you guys for watching and listening. Make sure you guys subscribe to Locked On Wizards on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Hail to the Wizards.